What's going on, everyone? Happy Thursday. This is your friendly neighborhood Pedro bringing to you the actual update for the Universim. The patch came out yesterday. I ended up downloading it at about 11 p.m. Central Time here in the U.S. Had a family thing that we were doing, dinner over at the in-laws' house. So that takes precedence over the making of videos because my mother-in-law is an excellent cook, and it's always a fun time over there. So, anyways, first off, you do get to start out with 2 children. So that actually helps you kind of get on the road to building your epicenter a little bit quicker. Since the aging is still advanced right now, your kids will age rather quickly. They've actually added an event panel that was down in the bottom right hand corner, which works kind of like, I don't know if you've played the one of the city sim games. Which one is it? City Skylines, that's which one it is, where it has a little Twitter thing in the top that kind of keeps you up to date with what's going on. That's kind of what it does. It doesn't pop up. You actually have to click on it to get a log of what's happened, who was born, who died, who came of age, all that kind of good stuff. One thing they did add are a lot of mouse overs. Like, you mouse over it, tells you what that button is, what it does. Doesn't mean it works yet, but at least it'll tell you what's going on with it. So, one thing that they did add also is a constructor's hut. Excuse me. If you go into your workers log now, or your workers little panel, you'll notice that you only have builders, food gatherers, miners or stone gatherers, whatever, and woodcutters. I think the game calls the stone cutters the quarrymen, whatever. But that is all you have. And basically what will happen if you sign someone to build, or as a construction person, a builder, they will only build stone huts the way it is now. You can see right there, it just shows you 4 instead of 5. Once you build this constructor's hut, though, you have to go in and assign someone to it in order for them to build the other specialized buildings. I did not know this when I made this video, so I was expecting, as soon as I built the constructor's hut, that there would be some kind of priority system in the AI, like, oh, well, that he placed this marker down first, that's what needs to be built first. That doesn't happen. In fact, I think that does need to be added as a priority system, to where you can set one building to higher priority, kind of like Tropico, where you can have your workers build this building first and then work on the other ones going forward. So I think that that'd be a good idea to implement as some kind of priority build system. I did mess around a little bit with the technologies, just researching and whatnot. And I didn't get too far just due to the time constraints of this video, but it seems that the AI still is a little broken, a little buggy from time to time. I'm sure they'll get that figured out. Again, this is pre-alpha. This is not even close to being finished. Again, there was only 20 minutes of playtime that you get before everything just goes to shit. So, well, the graphics stay the same as the artificial intelligence for the nuggets. It goes real wonky. So, one thing that you may notice that's a little different is if you look in the top where it has that nice little maple leaf. They've added seasons. So now you can tell a little bit better what time of year it is instead of just looking at the effects on the ground. So seasons works, as far as like the actual climate where you're at. It'll be colder in the colder regions, warmer in the warmer regions, but you'll kind of be able to plan it out and know what's coming. One thing that you may notice that's a little different is if you look in the top where it has that nice little maple leaf. They've added seasons. So now you can tell a little bit better what time of year it is instead of just looking at the effects on the ground. So seasons works, as far as like the actual climate where you're at. It'll be colder in the colder regions, but you'll kind of be able to plan it out and know what's coming. in the area that I'm in, it seemed like the winter was fairly long, spring was short, summer was kind of meh, and then the fall and the winter were long. So definitely something to keep an eye on when you're building your area for your epicenter, because if you're going the route of farming, you need to know when to plant, what to plant, when it's going to collect, just so you can get the best bang for your buck out of what you plant. That way you're not planting tomatoes when you should be planting boysenberry or whatever it is. I can't remember the names of them. The tech tree still looks the same. I haven't seen them add anything. What I tend to do, even though it's kind of pointless when I play the game, which again I really only play it sporadically just to see if I can find anything that I could suggest to the developers, but nothing's been added. I tend to go up the agriculture tree because again I really think farming is going to be key to growing your epicenter starting off. The more people you have, it seems that's the faster you research. So, and again, that could change. Again, this is pre-alpha. I don't know if that's how it's going to be, but just in my experience, the more people I have, the faster the research goes. And it also depends on the level of technology as well. If it's relatively easy for them to research, it's going to go quick. But anyways, as you can see, I am looking and seeing that nothing's being built. And again, that's kind of something I think needs to be worked on. When I put something down to be built, if I have the resources, I think the builder should go and start working on it immediately. But then I figured out, I have trees and rocks in the way. So the builder will actually clear out some of the trees and rocks for the job site before they build. So you actually get a little bit of resources instead of the resources being deleted. So that's kind of a good thing. I know with other games where you build like this, if you build over trees or whatever, the trees are gone and you don't get the resources for it. So that's actually a pretty good idea. So I'm not too sure how hunting is going to work currently, just because I see such little wildlife. And that may change. It may be fully bloomed when the game is released. But right now I've seen a few wolves, some mammoths, a couple whales, some birds and bunnies. But that's really about it. And that's really not going to be enough to sustain. And right here, I was trying to add, a worker, and it just wouldn't add. So I need to get back in and figure out how to do that. These buttons don't work right now. But I still wasn't able to add any of my builders to the constructor's hut. It's a lot easier to add, people to the farms whenever you're starting out with your, whatever you're going to plant, and assigning your farmers to it to get a working farm. I also decided to plop down an eatery in this, so I guess it's going to work kind of like a market in Tropico, where it distributes food. Instead of having a pile of food right next to your epicenter, it all goes directly to the eatery where it gets cooked, where it gets made, and that way you can increase your happiness. And I think happiness is also going to be tied into the population. The happier your people are, the more likely they are to reproduce and also work harder. I still haven't noticed a difference in the work intensity level. So if I put it the higher intensity, I don't see any better production. It just seems to kind of do what it wants to do, and that may be working as intended right now. I'm not sure. Here I'm just messing with a few of the buttons and the mouse overs here. You can actually bring up an entire list of all of your nuggets. You can display them by name, display them by occupation. So it actually works out. It has a nice little way to keep up with your nuggets, at least starting out. Once you get bigger, I don't know how it's going to do the whole population. I'm sure you won't see, 10,000 nuggets running around. I'm not sure that's going to work, but I think the highest I've had is like 40, and that was just intense, insane. I had about 12 huts, and it was just, and they all ended up dying because I didn't have enough food to support them. And then, of course, that the artificial intelligence broke down, and nobody was gathering food, no one was cutting anything, no one was building anything. So that was kind of crazy. In this video, the only thing that I was able to get built was one hut. So I'm gonna have to get back in and try to figure out how to get workers assigned to the constructor's hut, because you will need that, or you're gonna have nothing but stone huts everywhere, and 600 people and nothing to support them by, no infrastructure or anything like that. But all in all, I think the game is progressing nicely. They do seem to add quite a bit every month as far as just aesthetics, fixing bugs, working with the gameplay, adding one or two things here and there. That way the patches stay a little bit small, and us testers can get it, test it out, and get back to them, and then they can immediately start working on the bugs and also implementing something else for the next patch. So if you haven't seen my other two or three videos on this topic, check them out. I do go into some explanation on the release of these patches. So definitely check those out. I am going to continue to do World of Warships in the meantime. Just random gameplay. If I need to, I can do reviews, or if it's necessary, if people want to see it, I can do gameplay reviews on the types of ships that I've unlocked, or we can do a let's play, go up each tech tree, or not tech tree, but each specific like cruisers for the United States, battleships for the Japanese, things like I can go up and do that. Also, you will see some gameplay from Ark Survival Evolved. I actually have one video up currently, starting at the beginning, and I'm just going to level up in kind of a solo single player mode, and go from there. Just start at the bottom and see how far I can go, unlocking things and whatnot. If you haven't seen that game, I definitely recommend you check it out. Hopefully I'll have another Ark video out tomorrow. Currently trying to get some gameplay footage for that. But again, this has been the update to the Universim. Definitely check it out if you have some time. And we're going to cut it here. So we'll see you next time. And as always, rate, comment, subscribe. Later.